When Boston College went into the locker room at halftime with a 7-point lead over the top-ranked, undefeated Duke Blue Devils, the players were aware that the only people who probably expected them to be in that position were the people inside that locker room. Duke was riding 11 straight wins, had just drowned St. Francis in a 124-point rainstorm, and had enough talent on their roster to fill out at least half of the NBA lottery. But all the talent in the country couldn't stop the shower of three-pointers that Boston College dumped on the Blue Devils on its way to an 8,984 upset Saturday afternoon at Conte Forum. If at WASNT Kentucky Bowman sprang from the corners, it was Jordan Chapman firing away on catch-and-shoots or Jerome Robinson letting it fly off a handoff. Before the Blue Devils knew it, their backs were to the wall. Boston College coach Jim Christian wanted to make sure his team knew the magnitude of the moment. "I told these guys how fortunate they were because there's a lot of guys playing college basketball who are in great programs, who would never get a chance to play the #1 team in the country at home," Christian said. "These guys had an opportunity that not a lot of people get." As the Eagles were half the way to completing the upset, their first win over a ranked team since 2014, Christian told them, 20 minutes to a lifetime memory. It took the Eagles' best shooting night of the season to hand Duke its first loss of the year. Bowman poured in 30 points, 10 rebounds and 9 assists. Robinson threw up 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting, going 5 for 5 from three-point range with dual daggers late in the game. And Chapman dropped 22 points, nailing 5 of his 9 threes to seal BC's biggest win in 3 years. Barry Changlobe's staff Kentucky Bowman squeezes between two Duke defenders for 2 of his 30 points. But as much as the Eagles' shooting factored into the win, the poise of a young team down the stretch facing one of the most talented teams in the country was just as critical. "I just thought the whole time, the poise of our kids when they were up 4, never rattled. We stayed with what we did," Christian said. "There were so many winning plays out there. The Eagles had been here before, whether it was the late rally that fell short last year against Duke and Durham or the nip-and-tuck battle with number 9 North Carolina later in the season that came apart at the end, so they knew how steep the climb would be over those final 20 minutes. We've been that close before," said Robinson. "So I was just taking that all in and going as hard as you can. It's 20 minutes, so you just grind it out." They couldn't let their foot off the gas. On the first possession after the half, Chapman drilled a wide-open 3 in front of the Eagles bench that pushed the lead to 10 and kept the first half momentum alive. "I was just hungry," Chapman said. "We had that lead, and we played well in the first half and we didn't want to let that slip." The Eagles went from 20 minutes to a lifetime memory to 10, but their double-digit lead was trimmed to just 1 after a 178 Duke run capped by a wild reverse layup by Grayson Allen plus the foul. By the 4-minute mark, the Eagles were on the wrong end of a seesaw battle. They were down 7,675. Chapman missed a layup and Duke guard Gary Trent Jr. knocked down a 3 that put the Blue Devils up 4 with 333 to go. Rather than panic, Christian reminded his team they didn't need heroes, they needed playmakers. "They're such a well-balanced team, you have to score," Christian said. "If you don't score, if you go into some type of scoring drought, they can put up these huge runs on you. So we had to make sure we were putting our guys, especially our playmakers, in positions where they could score the ball and we could get into a good rhythm." The Eagles went to a 23 zone, all but nullifying Duke's star Marvin Bagley III, who finished with 15 points and 12 rebounds but just 5 points in the second half, and forced the Blue Devils to take their chances from 3 on a night when they shot just 8 for 30 from deep. "I don't think Marvin Bagley had an easy catch on the night," Christian said. "The more important part, he caused a couple over-the-back fouls that now changes his mentality, and that was the game, when freshman guard Trevin Duval clanged a corner 3 off the rim with 2:54 left. Robinson grabbed the rebound, fired a pass a length of the floor to big man Nick Popovic, who saved it from sailing out of bounds. Robinson hustled down the floor and the ball found him on the wing 2 passes later where he knocked down a wide-open 3 that cut it to 1. 2 possessions later, Robinson came through again, taking a feed from Bowman in front of the BC bench and grooving a 3-pointer that gave the Eagles an 8,179 lead they wouldn't give back. Robinson iced the win with a pair of free throws with 6 seconds left. When the buzzer sounded and the crowd swarmed, Robinson jumped on the scorer's table to celebrate. The lights went out briefly, turning Conte Forum into a mini-rave. Barry Changlobe's staff BC fans stormed the court to celebrate the Eagles' upset of #1 Duke. Christian took it all in, knowing these moments are rare. It was the 4th time in program history that the Eagles knocked off the nation's top-ranked team. They've beaten the number 1 team in the country each of the past 3 times they've faced them, upsetting number 1 Syracuse at the Carrier Dome in 2014 and beating number 1 North Carolina at the Dean Dome in 2009. If you walk down the hallway in our office, they have posters of the greatest moments, all the big wins, the conference championships, beating number 1 teams in the nation, Christian said. We're putting one up for this one. To get a poster up on that wall, it's a big thing because of the proud history of this place. This is ACC basketball, man. This is what it's about. This is what these guys signed up for and I'm proud of each and every one of them. Video BC fans stormed the court following win. Video Jerome Robinson's big three-pointer.